Hello there, I'm Thomas Blug from BluGuitar and I'm here at Scan Pro Audio to show you my BluGuitar product line. There's a little background story about myself. I'm in the industry for almost 30 years and I've worked on many different projects like tube amps, transistor amps, modeling, digital, anything you can imagine for the electric guitar. But finally I came to the decision to found my own guitar company or guitar amplifier company to make products with no compromise and to do something really unique, something really new, outstanding. Well, the first thing we released was the BluGuitar Amp 1. It is a 100-watt nanotube amplifier that weighs only 2 pounds. It fits in every gig bag or on any pedal board, and it's very easy to lug around, and it's actually very easy to combine with anything that you know. You can have pedals with it, you can make it even programmable. Amp 1 became a scalable system because I found out that some guitar players want to go straight forward, have a very simple straightforward setup. Other guitar players need more different sounds, more switching, and so I came up with the idea of having the core unit Amp 1 and a few accessories to make it a real, system that you can tailor to your own personal preferences. But the main thing about guitar amps is tone. So for me, it was important to get something that is tubes, that is analog. And what Amp 1 does is actually what you are familiar with a real tube amp. It has a tube power amp stage, 100 watts. This is a lot of power, so it's loud on stage. You really can handle anything with even the loudest drummers on the planet. And on the other hand, you have a versatile preamp section with like 4 discrete preamp channels. There's a clean channel, there's a vintage channel, a classic rock channel, and a modern rock channel, so to speak. But it's hard to believe that a unit like this can get this kind of tone. I make a little thing here when I show you the clean channel. This is just a nice, warm, clean tone. Now I can tweak the tone with the so-called custom controls here on the side to get a tone that is a little bit brighter, like this, or has a little bit more Fender style mids. Then there's an integrated boost, which I can also adjust with this little control here. Yeah, that's the clean channel. But now it's a transistor clean channel. So, is it good with pedals? Yes, it is. Here is a little booster pedal. It's actually one of pedals that Mr. Blackmore used in the early days with his tape machines. So this is like the preamp of the Iowa tape recorder he used. And what I'm doing next is get this in front of Amp 1 on the clean channel. And now I will boost the clean channel and you can listen how it's breaking up. Clean. Okay, get rid of the internal boost. Clean and this boost. So this is the clean channel boosted. And of course you could combine it with any pedal. Imagine a tube screamer or any overdrive pedal or whatever you have been using. But the clean channel here breaks up very nicely and gives you all the things that you know from a real good old tube amp. Okay, back to clean. Let's go for the vintage channel and start with a low gain setting. Yeah, it's kind of on the edge of breaking up. I like that. And now I increase the gain to like 5 or 6, and I have and I give it 10 now. Okay, and with the, I can even bring in the boost with the vintage channel, so I get holy grail for my classic rock, you know. Yeah, and it cleans up very nicely. So that's the vintage channel. Boost off. Next channel here is classic, and classic gives you let me say like a more controlled low end, and well, the typical sound of the 80s maybe. So yeah, classic has also extra tone control on the custom control section here, which blends between the 60s tone stack and the 80s tone stack. Modern is like an American high gain channel, and if I have the tone control here anti-clockwise, it should be sweet. So it's nice for the Gary Moore style notes. Yeah, and on the other side I have the more modern scoop mid things for metal, okay, which is like and on the side we also see a little gate. It's a noise gate. The noise gate is a musical thing for the metalheads. Me as a classic rock and blues player, I'm more on the soft settings, so I want all the little nuances, even when I go back with my volume control on the guitar to like 1. So, but the metal guys, they want to have the hardest attack possible, and therefore the gate has a position for metal. Yeah, you still hear the delay, which is in the effects loop here. Okay, so as you can see, Amp 1 has a few variations even within every channel. So there's 4 channels and fine-tune options for your personal preference. And as you can combine it with any pedals, there's a lot of personal tweaking possible. Now it makes a lot of sense to have this on your pedal board, or the easiest thing is you just put this in your gig bag and use the sounds with the internal foot switches. Now talking about the foot switches, the first one toggles between clean and overdrive, and so you have to decide in which world you are playing. If you are like the vintage guy, you go for the vintage channel and toggle between clean and vintage and have the boost here and the reverb switch. If you are a classic rock guy, this is your choice here between clean and classic. Or a metal guy, you do this. You pre-select the overdrive channel on this one and toggle between the two with a foot switch. Actually, some people need a bit more switching, and there's a mode in AMP1, it's the preset mode, where you can assign your 3 favorite sounds to the internal foot switches. And this is done quite easily. You go and have, for instance, the clean and the boost, and then you press and hold this button, wait for the blinking, and the next button you will press will recall this kind of setting. So I could have the vintage channel and the boost on the middle one, and I could have, for instance, the modern high gain sound on the 3rd channel here. So that's a 3-channel setup already with just the AMP1. But it has 4 channels. So I came up with the idea of having a regular foot switch also possible to connect to the unit, which does the switching of clean overdrive and boost, like replacing these 2 foot switches. And if you program the 3 internal foot switches with the 3 overdrive sounds, you can go to clean here, and then you have a 4-channel setup. So I thought about this option as well. So this is a super small, very, very flexible setup here. And of course, there are other options with MIDI, I will talk later, and our remote one. But first, a few more insights on the AMP1. As you can hear, I was using a pedal delay, which is in the effects loop, send and return. The loop can be switched from serial to parallel here on the side switch. And on the bottom, you have actually another switch that gives you a -10 plus 4 dB level switching of the effects loop. So the effects loop can be used for old school pedals that you use in between the guitar and the amp, that kind of level, or you switch it to a higher level for like proper line level studio gear, or more the new pedals can handle that kind of level. So this is on the bottom even. The recording out gives you a straight into the desk sound of the AMP1, which can be used into your PA system, even in parallel with a speaker that is connected to the speaker output of AMP1. Or you can drive a headphones with this for your practice at home, being quiet. The 2 speaker outs here with 8 and 16 ohms can drive any guitar speaker, and it's important to have the right impedance with it, since AMP1 produces 100 watts, and if the impedance is right, you will get the full 100 watts. Be careful with your speakers, as 100 watts is a lot, but for my experiences, if you don't have the master on 10, you can even drive 30 watt speakers, just stay with the master on half and everything will be fine. So it's not that critical. The next output here is the foot switch, and this socket is kind of an intelligent socket. It will detect what it's connected to it. Either the standard little TSR foot switch, which makes the replacement of these clean overdrive and boost, or if I use the MIDI adapter, which goes into the same socket, I get a MIDI input, which is a 5-pole DIN socket here, and then I can do my setting with the AMP1 and some external MIDI device. Well, it's a concept that a lot of players want for flexibility. If you combine like one of those multi-effect units with even program switching, you have this as a master, and the amp1 will then have a MIDI learn function to connect to the MIDI device. So another world you can step in. Amp1 as the analog tube amp combined with the digital multi-effect processors. And then there is our own foot pedal controller, which is called the remote one. And let's have a closer look on the remote one.